Alright, this is the 2021 International Aerospace Expo. Same advertisements from last year, actually, but they have new signs. Press the button and it actually talks to you. It's a great new innovation for continually improving our experience.
Unearthing lost ruins or setting new speed records. Famed artist Arudo Divani created this unique portrait series as a tribute to the diverse array of people who eagerly climb aboard their ships and dare to fly.
So that explains the art exhibit back there. Kind of a nice enrichment for the environment for adding new stuff like it would be in a real world of advanced technology. Of course, there's some new logos and stuff. Also, I want to thank Redbeard20 for showing me that lovely little thing up in the left hand or right hand corner there, using the analytics of the actual game. So this is the Expo Zenith Hall, and this is all the Anvil gear. So the Carrack, the Pisces, what do we got over here? Yeah, so this is all Anvil stuff, so mostly military or close to military grade. And this is the new Anvil Pisces, God, what is it? CX8X Pisces Expedition. It's a Pathfinder, sports more guns, limited edition livery. C8X Pisces exploration turns this stout snub-nose. So basically, turning a snub-nose fighter into a more snub-nose fighter. Take on its own adventures. So we'll rent that one. I like this one because it's the one that reminds me most of a Star Trek shuttle, except for all the guns. Oh yeah, it does have more guns. That's kind of cool. But it has space for a pilot, 2 little jump seats to either side. So it's a nice little taxi. It's got a little room for cargo and a loading ramp. So not a bad little ship. And off to Carrack. Here's the Arrow. Yeah, this is the Carrack. It's a really good all-around crew ship, but it's one of those ships you have to have crew for it to really be effective. You don't get pilot guns with it. And yeah, aerospace sensors. Oh, so it's an expedition Pathfinder ship. So it's mostly going out looking things, tracking your course, finding your new jump points, finding your new planets. But it has room for a ground transport of something, fairly decent sized. We're renting this one. And it's got crew quarters on the top. It also has a landing pad for a, snub ship like the Pisces or whatever else you want to put in there. And it's got side turns. Okay, over here. Oh, this is the bomber. Let's see. Anvil Gladiator. So it is the bomber. And since they've added the bombing functionality to the game with the Starlifter bomber with the Moab, I imagine this is getting some bomb functionality added as well. So it can be either a cargo or a bomb, but it's a little fighter. So that ought to be becoming more useful and interesting. Wonderful little loadout, missiles, guns, and a belly drop right here. Alright, on to the next guy. What do we got? What do we got? Okay, here's the Anvil Arrow. It was a tough little fighter when it first came out, and it was kind of the guy to have and fly at the time. But then when the rebalance of the, was it 314? It's either 313 or 314. They kind of nerfed it, so it wasn't quite as good a fighter. They lightened up the armor and lightened up the armaments, so the guns weren't nearly as effective. So we'll rent that one because it's always good to retest it, see if it's been rebalanced. And good little single seater, folds up, so you can get into. Alright, here's the Hawk. I like the Hawk, but don't like the Hawk. Its purpose is a fight. Well, it's a bounty hunter fighter, so it's mostly to disable other ships and collect your bounty. But it's got 6 forward guns and a turret, so it can throw a lot of firepower out there. But until bounty hunting becomes more mature, it's just kind of a cool looking little folded wing fighter that I imagine will fit in a Navy cargo or Navy strike ship or whatever, make a little more room, which is good. But not a bad little ship. Not my favorite though. Over here, this is probably one of my favorite Anvil ships. This is the Hurricane. The only problem with it is it's a pilot-co-pilot ship, and it was called a glass cannon when it first came out, but it's actually turned out to be one of the better damage-oriented ship. I think it took second place in the last big event, the incursion event that they did. It was only beat out by the, was it Retaliator or something like that? But for fighters, it took most damage, or did most damage to ships and the big warship that was coming in. So, and it's a heavy fighter. It's got these 2 great big guns right off the front. And I believe there's like another 4 in the turret. So if you have a co-pilot. Alright, downstairs was where they do all the ground vehicles usually, and the stuff that's all in production but is not ready to be shown. Oh, here is the Anvil Ballista, which is a ground-based ground-to-air missile system. Comes with a little armored cab. I'll rent this one too. Just need a ground place to play with it, but it's got a gun turret on top, but those huge tracking missiles on the back are what's most important for taking down airships. And over here, I believe is the, yep, this is the new one, the Spartan. Yeah, I think it's Spartan. Oh, what does the Taki sign say?
Despite the aerospace in its name, Anvil has hardly been limited to the skies. For example, the tough and rugged Atlas vehicle platform was developed to help conquer the unforgiving landscape found on moons and planets alike. Both the Ballista and the Spartan were both built from this design foundation, proving its adaptability.
Alright, let's take a quick look at this, because this is the first time it's come out and it's already too playable. Okay, what, six jump seats in the back, an armored shell, pilot seat, gunner's position, and it's supposed to be extra armor on it. Alright, this is the little carrier that Anvil built. It's kind of a mini Kraken, basically. But, yeah, Liberator. So, open air vehicle carrier designed with same quantum drive and long distance capability of military spec carriers and Pathfinders, but tailored to the civilian market. So basically, so small groups of people can afford to travel somewhere with a large or a decent complement of fighters. So if you're going way out there, you don't have to run out of fuel on your fighters to get there. Just carry them on this. And it's supposed to have some refueling and repair capabilities. But it's all yet to be fully realized because it's still in white box in design. And to the next. Up, around, back upstairs. Upstairs. Here we are. And this is, what, the Terrapin, the Vulcari, and the F8 Lightning. Everybody's excited for the F8 Lightning, or the Terrapin, or the Vulcari, because those are already been out. So the F8 Lightning is not quite yet ready. They're still polishing, but it's definitely, yeah, they have already got the HUD display up. That's 6, 7, wow, 8 forward guns, and it's a single seater, so that's 8 guns on target. That's going to make one heck of a fighter, even if they're just size 2s. But from the looks of it, some of these are size 3s and better. So it'll be a fun, heavy fighter to play with if and when they get around to it. I think it's part of the Squadron 42 setup. Yeah. So yeah, you can't rent this one, unfortunately. But when it finally does come out, it'll be quite the dogfighter, I'm imagining. So, yeah, several big guns under the wing. Big turret on the top, and it's armored. Unlike some of the other ships that are lightly armored, it's heavy armored. So it ought to be able to take a pretty good hit. Here is the Vulcari. The Vulcari is a troop transport. It's been out for a while. It's great if you have multiple other people to play with, because it's multi-decked. It has turret spots. It would mostly be used for ground support, because a lot of its weapons are more anti-personnel rather than anti-vehicle. But you can carry a large group with it, and it's armored. It can do space battles, but it's not as effective. Here's the Terrapin. It's a exploration Pathfinder. One of those you'll go out and look for the new warp points and find ore and whatnot. You know, just go out and scan, see what you can find. It's also supposed to have some tech ability, if I remember what was mentioned correctly. But at this point, it's still not a function in the game yet. So it's still it's a cool looking ship, because it's supposed to be able to have some drop down armor. Oh look, the Darth Vader chair. Cockpit, scanning chair, bathroom, bed. So it's pretty well set up to go out for a while. But yeah, it's supposed to have armor that drops down over the cockpit and everything. Goes slow, but it goes. And should be one more area just up and around the corner here. Oh, look at the planet. Hologram planet with a hologram space station floating around it. An AE 2951. So this should be all the Hornets. So So there are multiple flavors of the same frame. F7CS Hornet, so the Ghost. So stealth fighter. Get in behind the lines, hit them, run away. All the Hornets are a good frame. Solid armaments, solid guns. The tracker, so the one with the better scanning setup. He's not as heavily armored or armed. I think the armor is the same and the motor's the same, but it's a different gun loadout. And these are the Hornet and the Super Hornet. Yeah, Super Hornet. F7CM Super Hornet. So this is as close as you can get to the military Hornet as possible with this loadout, as well as legally in the game. So it has the best guns, and I believe this is only a single seater pilot. And this should be the, yeah, quite a few big guns and turrets. So turret under, turret above, and fixed guns. This FC7M Super Hornet. Oh, okay. So this is the two-seater, so somebody can ride with you, and this other one is a single-seater. You can tell by the cockpit up there. It doesn't have the room for the second seat where this one does. So one if you want to fight alone, one if you want somebody to come with you. And all with those nice big turrets, good gun loadouts. And who are you? F7. Rent. There's the rent. And just the base F7 medium fighter. So this is the baseline one, so very basic, without all the extra gun complements. So the base frame. And this is the commemorative one, the Wildfire, which, yeah, this was the one based off the Squadron 42 Gal. Masters of Flight series. Hornet equipped personally. Selected loadouts preferred. Ariel Riley? Okay. So, yeah, this is based off of the Squadron 42 expansion. So, yep. All very good ships. And on that note, oh, yeah, there's a big rotary cannon that's may or may not be as effective in this patch as before. And on that note, we will call it a good night to all. Thanks for watching. And I'll talk to you all later.